Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome to Oxford Online English. Learning English takes a lot of time and work.
Do you agree? If so, what can you say? Actually, you could use very simple language. You could just say yes, or even say nothing, and just nod your head. You could say, I agree, but did you know that there are many other phrases you can use to show how much or how little you agree?
This video is part of our Level Up series, where you can learn a wide range of language to level up your everyday conversational English. Check out the other videos in this series on YouTube or on our website. Also, don't forget to turn on the subtitles for this video if you need them. All our videos have English subtitles. You can turn them on now. Just click the CC button in the bottom right of the video player. So, let's get going. I loved Amanda's casserole tonight. It was so good.
I know, right? It was so good. I was completely full, and I still couldn't stop eating.
I think she should make it for the potluck next month. It'll be a favourite for sure.
I'm with you on that one. Everyone will love it.
I'll send her a text to tell her how much we liked it.
Notice that here, neither person used the word agree. Yet it's clear that they do agree. You can say, I know, or I know, right? To express agreement. Tone is important here. You need to sound enthusiastic when using this phrase. If you say, I know, right? Then it doesn't work. But with the correct intonation, I know, right? It works. You heard one more phrase to express agreement here. Do you remember? You heard, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you is another way to say, I agree with you. It's slightly more conversational. You probably wouldn't use it in writing, and definitely not in formal writing. Goodness, it's windy today.
You're telling me? I almost lost my hat this afternoon.
Come on, we better go inside and warm up.
Great minds think alike. I could sure do with a hot cup of tea right now. Here's a phrase you heard, but there's a mistake. Can you remember the correct phrase? It was, you're telling me. This shows that you completely agree. But that's not the only form of agreement that popped up in the conversation. Did you hear the other one? You heard, great minds think alike. Consider this for a moment. What do you think it means? Well, in the literal sense, it means we're both really clever, but it's just a humorous way to say that we've both reached the same conclusion. It's a light-hearted saying, so you can try it out with your friends. I can't believe Sue cut her hair so short.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's weird seeing her without long hair.
It's a big change.
You can say that again. I get a shock every time I see her.
I must say though, she pulls off the look. What do you think?
Without a doubt. The first phrase you heard here was, I was thinking the same thing. There are other variations on this, like, I was thinking the same, or I had the same thought. Did you also notice the phrase, you can say that again? Does it really mean you want the person to repeat what they've just said? Of course not. You don't really want the other person to repeat the words. It's just an informal way to say that you totally agree. Similarly, without a doubt expresses complete agreement. You can also say no doubt, which has a similar idea. But what if there is a doubt in your mind? What if the argument is factually correct, but you don't particularly like it? What to say then? I don't think you should take that mountain trip this weekend. The weather forecast is predicting heavy snow. You could get stuck up there.
I've been looking forward to it for weeks. But I guess you're right.
I know, it's a shame, but it's really too dangerous. The roads get too slippery, and visibility is a problem.
I'm really disappointed. It would have been so nice to get away.
Well, there's always next month.
I suppose so. The family will be so disappointed. Could you tell from the conversation that I agreed with Rich, but also expressed my disappointment? You can use I guess you're right and I suppose so when you agree that someone is right, but you're not happy with the situation. You can also use short versions of these too, I guess and I suppose. Can you think of such examples from your own life? Maybe it's time to replace those old worn tyres on your car, or to start that exercise routine that you've been talking about for months. Maybe it's time to make that phone call that you promised you would, but you really don't want to. If someone suggests that you do these things, you might say, I suppose so. This shows that you accept their point, but you are not excited about it. Hey, should we go and see that new action movie tonight?
Good idea. We haven't been to the movies in a while.
Do you think we should invite Leanne and Luke to come along? I think they'd really enjoy it.
Sure. I don't see why not.
It's on at 6 and at 8. Shall we do the 8 o'clock one?
Fine by me. Just a reminder, most of the ways you're learning in this lesson to agree don't use the word agree at all. Here you heard good idea in a discussion. You can say good point to agree with what someone says. If someone makes a suggestion, you can agree using the phrase I don't see why not or fine by me. These are neutral phrases which don't express much enthusiasm. That doesn't mean that you're unenthusiastic or unhappy, just that you're accepting someone else's idea without expressing much emotion one way or the other. Will you go to Dan's party with me this weekend?
Absolutely. Dan always throws the best parties in town.
Exactly. He's a great host too.
For sure, he really knows how to entertain. Here you heard 3 short ways to agree enthusiastically. Can you remember all 3? You heard absolutely, exactly, and for sure. They are good, simple ways to show that you agree 100% with what you've just heard. I think AI will take over most jobs in the future, and teachers will be the first to go. What do you think?
I agree with you up to a point. I do think AI will cause job losses, but I don't think teachers will be replaced anytime soon.
Why do you say that?
I just think other jobs are easier to automate. Teaching's all about human contact.
You've got a point there. Maybe teaching as a profession will be safe, but surely aspects of it will be taken over by technology.
Here, the speakers partly agree with each other. This is common. Sometimes you may agree with some of what's being said, but not all of it. A good phrase to express this is, I agree with you up to a point. You could also use, you've got a point there, but this is a good way to acknowledge the other person's point of view while also showing that your perspective is at least slightly different. This is a useful tactic for business and negotiations. You try to find common ground first and then address the points of disagreement. Talking of business, which of the phrases you've learned so far are more appropriate in formal settings, say with a colleague or a client? What about great minds think alike? Or you're telling me? Well, like many things, it depends on the context and the tone. In general, neutral phrases like, I agree with you, I'm in agreement, or just agreed, will likely be better in a business meeting. Phrases such as, for sure, and you can say that again, are better for social situations. Let's look at some more informal ways to agree, as these words and phrases will make you sound natural in your speech. Hey, are we still going to the beach this weekend?
You betcha, it's going to be so much fun.
I'm packing extra sunscreen, as I don't want to make the same mistake as last year.
Ditto. My skin can't handle too much sun either.
Oh, and bring a lot of fluids. You don't want to get dehydrated out there.
Okie dokie, I'll make sure to do that. Do you think it would be a good idea to reply to your boss with you betcha or ditto? Probably not. They're too casual. Although, of course, it depends on your boss. The phrases from the dialogue you just heard are very informal, so should probably be avoided in a professional environment. You betcha is a slangy way to agree. Betcha is a variant of the word bet. You can also say you bet with the same meaning. Ditto is another way to say me too or same here. They are quick and natural responses in a casual conversation. And what about okie dokie? Okie dokie is a light-hearted form of okay or all right that is used both in British and American English. However, keep in mind that for this one, it is a little old-fashioned.
So, now you've seen many different phrases to agree. Let's see what you can remember. Try to complete some of the phrases from the lesson. Pause the video and see if you can complete them all. How did you do? Ready to see the answers?
How did you do? So, the next time you're having a conversation in English and you want to agree with someone, try using some of these phrases. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.